All right, let's talk about self-driving cars. We're constantly told they're the future, right? That they're going to eliminate human error and save thousands of lives. It's this huge multi-billion-dollar promise. But is it actually true? I mean, really, it's time we looked past all the hype and saw what the data is really telling us.
Yeah, you've probably seen these cars cruising around. They just look like the future, don't they? A super clean, efficient, and most importantly, safe solution, just gliding through our messy city streets. And let's be honest, this is exactly the image the industry wants in your head. And, the media often helps paint that picture. When you see a quote like this from a publication as big as The Economist, it makes a really powerful statement. It basically says, hey, the debate's over, case closed. But as we're about to find out, it is not nearly that simple, not even close.
Okay, so let's dig into that core promise. I mean, why are we pouring billions and billions of dollars into this tech in the first place? Well, it all comes down to solving a very human and really tragic problem.
This number right here, this is what drives the whole industry. We're talking about roughly 40,000 people dying in traffic-related incidents every single year, and that's just in the United States. It's a staggering figure, and the whole argument is that technology can and frankly should bring this number way, way down.
And when you look at it like this, the argument seems so clear, doesn't it? On one side, you've got us, human drivers. We get drunk, tired, distracted. We make all sorts of terrible, preventable mistakes. And on the other side, the machine. It's never impaired, it doesn't get road rage, it always obeys the law. I mean, it seems like an obvious upgrade, right? A total no-brainer.
Well, this is where that reality check really kicks in. Because while these autonomous vehicles don't make human mistakes, they've started making a whole new category of really strange machine mistakes. And this just perfectly illustrates the problem. We're seeing robotaxis plowing into flooded roads, drive straight through active crime scenes with police tape up, and just completely jam intersections during power outages, causing total gridlock. And then, of course, there was that infamous Cruise incident where a car didn't just hit a pedestrian, it actually dragged them. It's a horrifying failure of its most basic safety programming.
And here's the really crucial point, which an expert from the University of Michigan makes so well. These aren't like super complex, once-in-a-lifetime edge cases. For humans, these are pretty routine situations that the average driver handles without even thinking about it. I mean, just look at this. A simple power outage, and some of the most advanced robo-taxis on the planet are totally paralyzed. It's such a powerful visual of the huge gap between that promise of superhuman performance and the reality of their limitations right now. So this really gets us to the heart of all the confusion. When these companies claim their cars are safer, they're often not comparing apples to apples. The stats they're using are a whole lot murkier than they look on the surface. So why is the data so tricky? Well, there are a few big reasons. First, you've got the driving conditions. Robotaxis mostly operate in pretty simple, slow-speed city environments. They're not on icy mountain passes or high-speed freeways where a lot of the worst human accidents happen. Second, there's this teleoperator question. These are remote humans who can secretly take control, but we have no idea how often they're stepping in. Third, the software is getting updated all the time. So is the car that was safe last month even the same car today? And finally, and this is a big one, they just haven't driven nearly enough miles to have data that's statistically solid.
So how many miles is enough? Well, according to a major study by the RAND Corporation, we need something like 2 billion miles of data to be truly confident that robotaxis are safer than humans when it comes to fatal crashes. 2 billion. For context, Waymo, they've logged somewhere around 127 million miles. That means we are a long, long way from having the data we actually need.
Okay, but let's just imagine for a second that they solve all those data problems. Let's say they prove, mile for mile, that they are safer. Even then, there's this huge hidden risk to our entire transportation system that almost nobody is talking about. It's a concept called induced demand, and it works like this. If robotaxis become cheap, convenient, and, pleasant, like your own private lounge on wheels, people are going to use them more. A lot more. They'll start choosing a robotaxi over the bus or the train or even walking. And what happens then? The total number of cars and miles driven on our roads could just absolutely skyrocket. And here's the counterintuitive, kind of shocking math behind that. Let's say a car is 20% safer per mile, but it leads to 30% more driving overall.
Well, the net result is actually a 4% increase in total crashes. Think about that. Individually safer cars could paradoxically make our entire system more dangerous. Okay, so if robotaxis aren't the silver bullet we've all been promised, what's the alternative? Well, the good news is we already have a bunch of cheaper, proven solutions that can save lives right now, today. I mean, we can put tech in cars that automatically limits their speed. We can build streets that are actually designed for people, not just for cars trying to go as fast as possible. We can make public transit better and way more accessible for everyone. Look, these aren't some futuristic pipe dreams. They are proven strategies that we know work.
And the crucial point here is really the cost-benefit analysis. Perfecting autonomous vehicles is going to take decades and hundreds of billions of dollars more. But implementing these other solutions, it's vastly cheaper, and we can do it right now with a much more certain life-saving outcome. And if you need any proof that these kinds of solutions actually work, just look at this number, 0. That's how many pedestrians or cyclists died in traffic collisions in cities like Helsinki and Oslo in recent years. They actually achieved something called Vision Zero. So what was their secret? How did they pull that off? Well, it wasn't by waiting for some technological savior. They focused on simple stuff: better street design, lower speed limits, and great public transit. And it really leaves us with a critical question. Are we chasing this incredibly complex, incredibly expensive, and totally uncertain solution while we ignore the simpler, proven ones that are sitting right in front of us?